Samsung for their second game as they got 2-0 today by KT Rolster. So let's see if Longzhu can take this to 3 games today.
I've got a worrying stat for you though, because Longzhu are now on the blue side.
Correct.
Usually that means that you can ban away pocket picks because the enemy team is forced to ban the meta champions to stop there being a very strong first side pick. Let me tell you a worrying stat. With that win, the ROX Tigers go to 8-3 on the blue side and 19-3 overall. Their record on red side is 11-0 in champions. They have not lost a game on red side.
That's pretty damning evidence right there.
And you know what's one of the stats that works with that? Let's talk about top lane, because usually it's going to be Smeb picking up the red side 5th pick. He's the guy you give the counter pick to. Kuro's usually on the Lulus of the world, on the wave clear of the world. Smeb, when he's on the blue side, he averages 3.4 CS difference at 10 over his opponent, so 3 extra CS. Not a big number. It's 13 on the red side because he gets the counter pick. And Smeb just won MVP. They're undefeated on red side. Good luck, Longzhu, because all the stats are saying you're going to lose.
Well, it's up to them to try to turn that around and make this work for them. You can see, going over the bans briefly, Nidalee, of course, taken away from Peanut, as always. Callisto, who is just never going to see him play, seemingly banned away, as well as Corki. Coco played quite well in that game, but they do not want to give that over to ROX. So they ban it away. Gangplank still being banned. Kog'Maw and Lulu coming out. Nothing too surprising there. And it's going to be the top Nautilus pick first off here for Longzhu. And Smeb still, despite picking into a counter pick, very comfortable in that hobby.
And look, it's going to be a farm lane. That's the reality of the lane. There is, again, we just saw support Nautilus come out, so outside chance that Pure will play that, but most likely going to be Nautilus top, the most picked top laner in the last week of competitive play around the world, and it's going to be Peanut this time. Okay, Peanut next to Score were the only 2 players that convinced me of Kindred early in the season before she was globally banned. For 3 weeks of Champions, we didn't see a lot of her in the following week. We're finally seeing her again. Kindred's definitely been losing more than she's winning, but this is a strong invading jungler that can duel at level 2. Here we go, it's going to be the reverse matchup. You have to think.
Elise possibly coming out. As they flip through, might just go for the Braum again.
Well, the Braum was a big win, so maybe stick with the Braum.
That was quite good. Oh god. Please, just lock the Elise, not the Rengar. Okay, so we do get the Elise coming in here. Not going to see the Rengar matchup. Poor Chaser.
There's a world where Elise gets the drop on a Kindred and can kill her very early. Obviously, when Lamb's Respite comes through, it's harder. We keep seeing Jhin hover. Someone's going to lock it in eventually.
They're thinking about it. I think they're really giving some thought.
It'll be a last pick, I think. If
More than likely. You want to know that it's absolutely safe.
I could see them leaving 80 carry for last pick and then going for an Ashe or a Jhin. We'll wait and see. Looking for support in the mid lane. Or maybe it'll just be Sivir time again.
Could just be Sivir. I mean, Prey played it very well, built it properly. The wave clear is absolutely astounding. So it would be a very reliable pick. We see the Trundle coming in. And they're just going to go ahead and lock it out. So Trundle and Sivir for a bot lane.
Now, worth noting that Trundle may flex to top.
Could be.
Could be Poppy's support. We've only seen it once in Champions, so it hasn't been a staple. Again, it's been largely Poppy top around the world after Noxiac and Fnatic were debuting Poppy support right at the start of the season. But Gorilla's definitely got a champion pool of all of them, so he can potentially flex it there. The Sivir, it's been the big story. I'm surprised we've seen so little Sivir just because that one change, the Ricochet critting, took her solo queue win rate up 7%. She went from 48% back to 55%. That was her number when she was, basically the queen of the meta. And with that one change, it's given her so much power because you saw those minion waves, they die instantly.
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly what she needed to succeed as an AD carry. And Prey is making it work. Let's see if he's able to do that again. You can see Lucian Braum might be the fairly reliable bot lane on the side of Longzhu. Can easily proc the concussive blows and harass out here. But it's actually going to be a Pantheon coming through in the end.
Pantheon mid.
This
could be Nautilus mid, I guess.
We did see that yesterday. It's entirely possible, but I feel like this is almost has to be Pantheon mid.
Does Kuro need to pick Victor here because he doesn't know the matchup? Victor was nerfed on this patch, but this is a peculiar draft from Longzhu. Pantheon, whatever lane it in, has massive, massive lane presence. Very low cooldown, very high damage, spammable skill shot Q. So what does Kuro do? Does he just go? He needs wave clear. That's what he desperately needs. Malzahar, I've seen Fly play this in solo queue. Malzahar's kind of the champion that I've always thought was good but was never played.
Yeah.
So it's probably not going to be Mouse. It needs something safe. It needs to be able to wave clear is what the ROX need for mid lane, because Longzhu have definitely pulled a fast one.
Well, here's the hover of the Victor. It's going to be the lock-in. So yeah, despite the nerfs to Death Ray, they're just going to go ahead and revisit this Victor. So this has been, one of the things that we were talking about since yesterday, whether or not Victor was going to come back into play. And here we go, Kuro is going to bring this out.
There were parts of my first season of casting champions where I would call this champion Kuro, because Victor is synonymous with Kuro. He's the one, Kuro is the one that brought him into the meta this season. Only 3 games on Victor, so been, actually chilling out, not playing Victor. 32 KDA over 3 games, even higher than Crown's KDA on LeBlanc, we were speaking about so much in the previous series. Victor has had that big nerf. No longer at level 7 with just the Hex Core upgrade can he clear the backline. Still going to be very good at wave clearing if he has to maybe risk a bit more. He needed wave clear. It's Kuro. Victor's the right choice.
Yeah. See how this interaction goes on early on. This is a pretty big lack of magic damage from the side of Longzhu. The Elise, of course, is going to offer some, as well as the Nautilus, but not a whole lot when you're running that Lucian Pantheon
I'm not convinced by the Pantheon. They now have a melee top laner and a melee mid laner. Their turret taking ability is 0. Sure, they can pull off some ganks, but this is a team fight, a pick comp, but nothing else. There is no way for them to actually siege, so they're going to be pretty narrow team comp-wise, and I worry about how they're going to be able to play out this game, barring the cheese factor of Pantheon mid.
Yeah, it seems like Chaser's going to have to do a hell of a lot of work to help get his team ahead. And even so, we saw in the last game, didn't work out. We'll see if it does in this one. Game 2, Longzhu versus ROX Tigers, coming up in just a few seconds.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right, back on the rift for game 2. Match point for Longzhu, who want to tie up this series and take us to game 3. ROX, after a bit of a shaky performance, looking to 2-0 as they did the last time these two teams fought.
Longzhu have been known to pull off weird picks. We saw them in their last series pick Zed into Lissandra. That was a questionable one for Frozen. Now we see Pantheon mid as a blind pick. This isn't a counter pick to Fiora. That's a spot we've seen it. Huni was doing that over in the EULCS last weekend. To great success, actually maxed Heartseeker Strike first and was blowing people up. But in the mid lane, Pantheon has the highest base move speed in the game, but doesn't have a lot of range wave clear. Has to overextend to trade. Overextending against Peanut, good luck with that. And it's a very risky pick, and Kuro realized it's probably going to be Pantheon mid, maybe Nautilus. All he needs to do is wave clear and be safe. And Victor, pretty uninteractive when it comes to wave. He's going to stand back, going to throw out a wave. Maybe it'll kill all the back minions, maybe it won't. But he's not going to be in position to die, especially with cleanse.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting for Coco. We'll see how he decides to play this one. I'm assuming, it's just going to be a lot of chip damage. But the Siphon Power Shield comes through in time to block the Spear Shot. He seems more than happy to just go ahead and farm up these minions while he can.
See, the one other thing about Pantheon is that he's a melee champion, so when he goes for these equal damage trades with the power transfer Q of Victor, he takes minion aggro, so he loses out incidentally on trades because of the minion damage, so very difficult for him to win trades. Kuro gonna take pain, but with the Feast Mastery, with the Overshield, with a couple of potions, it's gonna be an interesting war of attribution for Coco.
Especially once Kuro has all of his spells. If you can predict the stun from the Pantheon, you can very easily lock him into a gravity field. We see a lot of aggression coming through from ROX Tigers as they pinch around this blue buff. That's going to be the exhaust on the Chaser, who has to flash away. Can they chase him down? It does not look like it. Now they turn their eyes onto Expression. Can he get out in time? Gorilla, of course, not taking that pillar. Took the chomp. Cannot lock him into the jungle, so both will be able to walk out of here. Overall, it's a flash down on Chaser and the exhaust down on Gorilla.
Some really weird pathing by Longzhu. They were playing to their weaker side instead of actually jungling around the bot side. Very greedy. They didn't start those camps. It took a long time to finish them, were thusly punished. Tried to basically pull a fast one and get extra camps when they had no business doing so. Weren't ultimately punished. They did pick up their own blue buff, but honestly didn't deserve it given their jungle pathing.
Yep. You see we're just going to have the swap here. The Nautilus heads down to the bot lane. Meanwhile, Gorilla, Smet, and Ray have all been chilling up in that top side of the map for quite some time. work down that turret with relative ease as it hits about half HP at the moment. Blue wave coming in, they will be able to get this here. Chaser doing a bit of counter jungling as well, taking away that blue buff.
Again, finally now playing around as duo lane. You want to play on the side of the map where you have more members. It's called vertical jungling. You see jungle follow. You own the bot side of this jungle because ROXT Tigers initiated the lane swap. They went top, so the bot side jungle is yours. The top side jungle is the enemy's. There's a heavy penalty on this patch for red side lane swapping because, of course, now you lose dragon control. And with the dragon buffs, you have to feel like the dragon for Rift Herald trade, which with the state of dragon in the previous patches was, 50-50 of that. Now is pretty landslide in the advantage of the team controlling the bot side, so you'd never want to give up dragon control. Yep. And so far Longzhu haven't been able to set anything up, of course, very early in the game.
Yeah. Chaser does take away the Scuttle Crab down there, which denies that mark from Peanut. So that's good on him. We'll see if Peanut, he's going for the Skirmisher Saber here rather than the tracking knife that we've seen all too often from our junglers the last 2 days.
Lane is actually in a really poor position for Kuro, no mana, so it's going to be denied. So yep. CS advantage building up for Pantheon.
Quite significantly, 10 CS, 11 CS now, just 4.5 minutes. Pretty good for Coco so far. Of course, Kuro not going to be able to farm nearly as effectively until he hits about level 7 or 8, I believe.
Well, I mean, it's actually early levels. People kind of misunderstood Victor's wave clear pre-finishing his hex core upgrade. It's actually pretty poor.
Yeah.
Doesn't take out anything with any sort of reliability. And now the reliability of knowing exactly how much damage your backside of your death ray will do to the backline is different. I'm sure Kuro's practiced Victor. He's pretty decent as champion.
Peanut waiting over the wall. The cocoon's not going to land. He's going to go ahead and jump in. Chaser comes in as well. Spencer to take up Gorilla is getting burned out, however. There's not much damage coming through from the ROX Tigers. Flashes have to be popped. Smeb as well now jumping away. Pure coming forward, trying to get these concussive blows to go through. They do lock up Gorilla with Cocoon. But here comes Kuro coming down from the mid lane. The Riptide Slow comes through. Can they get Expedition? They jump onto him. The Dredge Line comes through, but it's all too late. First blood goes over to Peanut.
Longzhu greedy. They only have 3 members now. They only had 4, now 3.
Yeah, stuck under the tower. They have to play this quite perfectly, and they do. They take out Coco. Smeb going in deep for the kill, and fantastic juggling here by Kuro, but he's got to back out of here. The teleport coming through his Expedition is already respawned. Flash over the wall for Kuro should keep him alive, and the rest of ROX just have to hightail it out, get back to the safety of their towers. Peanut gets grabbed up. Can they finish him off as he tries to leap away? The concussive blows come through. Is the damage there? However,
coming in as
looks
well.
like it might be Chaser finds the kill, but here comes a teleport from Smeb as he starts wrapping right back around. Chaser goes down. They get on to Pure. They should be able to finish him off. Can Bray live? He does for the time being. Expedition, one more auto attack. Can he find it? He cannot. He gets locked up in the gravity field and he goes down. And just like that, ROX Tigers take a landslide lead in this game just 6.5 minutes in.
A complete catastrophe of shot calling for Longzhu. There was no way for Fury to ever respond to that situation. He was slowly pushing up top lane. They were always going to be outnumbered. And in the world's most elongated level 2 to level 4 fight, ROX always had the number advantage. They were always going to come out to some degree ahead. But Longzhu kept fighting and ended up losing 4 members over the course of this fight.
Yeah, the roam down from Kuro just making
Just watch the minimap. There's nothing Lucian can do. He's calling frantically. I'm sure Fury's saying, I can't get there. There's no way for me to be there. Have you ever seen an aggressive turret dive with the Victor W 5 minutes into the game? But here it is, a 3-man stun traffic cone as well. It's ludicrous. I don't know how Smeb managed to juggle the turret aggro like he does. ROX Tigers are so damn good. Their calculations, whether it was blue trinkets to get Baron the last game, or just this whole fight, they conceptualize things before they unfold and then punish you.
Yeah, that was beautifully played by ROX Tigers. I thought it was going to be disastrous as they went in for the dive, but the gravity field just so perfect from Kuro, locking up all 3 members, just ensuring that their very low HP bars were not going to be touched any further. And just like that, ROX have a massive lead. 6.5 minutes in plus now.
So Kuro's gone for an item that we're going to see more and more. Going for the Dark Seal, which of course builds into Magi's. More fighting time.
Yep, Peanut coming in, trying to just maintain that aggressive playstyle that he's so well known for, and he will be going for the Devourer as well.
The Dark Seal isn't a complete mana's item like Magi's was before Dark Seal existed, just because it does actually give more value on potions, because of that increased healing. So Kuro doesn't want to itemize into a big sustained purchase like Nautilus, for example, has with the flask. Instead, he's now gone for a bit more effective healing from potions with the Dark Seal, but of course it is an aggressive item as well, so not quite corrupting potion level of investment, but still going to be some extra sustain, and hell, if he gets some stacks out of it, even better.
Yeah, that'd be really nice to see if he goes ahead and builds it into the Soul Stealer. But first, Dragon does go down 8.5 minutes in. ROX Tigers continuing this objective push toward victory. Now up that 6% buff. Not going to do a whole lot, but it gets them one step closer to that tower damage buff that they really want from the Dragons.
Absolutely. Then everyone's a turret taker, which is a good way to be when you have double AD.
And a Poppy.
And a Poppy, absolutely. Poppy's poke in general. The one thing you learn about Poppy is, perhaps the strongest thing about Poppy is you get Iceborne Gauntlet, pop your W, you're hella quick, and your first auto attack slows from range, and then you're in position for E, Q, R, all the other CC that comes through. The fact that you can acquire a target from range seems to be the reason that you can chase down better than almost any other melee champion.
Yeah.
Speaking of
strong.
Poppy.
Yeah, we can see her just roaming right back down. Will get spotted out by the pink ward, but Expression being slowed by the traffic cone. He gets the dredge line, but he pushes him straight back. Exhaust comes through onto Prey. Chaser just now arriving. Expression has to flash. Well, Coco is fighting with Kuro. Doesn't look like that engagement's going to be going on for much longer, as they do go ahead and back off. Coco getting out-traded by Kuro.
Kuro, I believe, dropped the ult to interrupt channel. Now, I don't know if interrupting channel instantly refunds. I know that Pantheon can cancel his own channel. I don't know what happens when an enemy interrupts the channel, but dropping the ult from range, given the fact that it is that instant ability cancel, it's not quite as silenced, but effectively like that when it comes to a channel. He interrupted the channel, as far as I can tell.
Just seem that way. Coco now, even in CS with Kuro just about. And ROX just continuing to make moves here, going for the Rift Herald. We'll be able to pick this one up. Chaser coming around the sidelines. They go forward onto Smeb. Has that shield up so they can't dash into him any further. Takes a lot of damage from that calling.
Who's going to get the Rift Herald? Nobody.
And they're just going to lead it.
I think the enemy can pick it up.
I actually do not know. That's a good question.
Fair question. Again, I prefer to think that nobody wants it because the Rift Herald buff sucks.
Coco trying to get the blue buff, gets taken away by Chaser.
Not ideal.
Yeah, so no more spear shot spam.
When we mouse over to Kuro, it'll be interesting to see if he has been maxing spear shot, which makes sense in a long lane, in a short lane, sorry. Heartseeker Strike, if you can get away with it, is more damage, but you usually can't get away with it.
Hard to get in range of Kuro to constantly spam that out and get that damage in, especially when he has a shield from Siphon Power. So
I guess if you think about it though, like it does give him ability to push back. It does work on monsters with reduced effectiveness. So
that's true.
Maybe it is the max. We'll have to keep track of that, the viewers.
Gorilla just going right back in, says I don't care, I want that pink ward. Two concussive stacks
coming in too.
Yeah, TP coming in from Smeb on the sidelines. Let's see what they can have done. Flash away by Pure will keep them safe. So ROX not going to be able to find anything quite just yet. Flash for TP though.
Definitely a good trade from the side of Longzhu. Now teleports down for a long time. No objectives to fight over, so very low value teleport from the side of ROX Tigers.
Yep. Just have to see if Expression can make anything happen with his own before Smebs comes back off cooldown. So ROX hovering around this dragon pit, maybe looking for some kind of pick, but Longzhu is not going to have it.
Yeah, Smeb was just sticking around, saying, okay, waiting for Nautilus to start pushing up, then I'll go top lane, see if there's any chance of picking up a repeat engage. No such luck.
Now Chaser, feeling a little bit confident, going to go into the jungle of Peanut. Spotted out by that Wolf Spirit, however.
ROX have to respect the teleport. Now they all have to back away. Smeb is top lane, no teleport for 4 minutes, so ROX have to be much more defensive than they played in the first 10 minutes of this game.
The Dragon spawn in just about 2 minutes. I'm sure we'll see ROX making a revisit over to that objective.
But they're playing defensive when they need to.
Yeah.
They are showing they have gears. One of the big queries about Peanut was, when his team's winning, he'll go and do counter jungling. But if you remember back to his Najin days last season, he would counter jungle all the time and randomly die when his team was losing.
Yeah.
The fact that he's able to listen to calls, stay back, just back up his laners when there's that big teleport advantage to Expression is a good development to see in his development as a player.
Absolutely. It's one of the big flaws that you often find with junglers, especially good ones, is they are sometimes just way too damn aggressive. and they need to know when to back off, so good on Peanut. He's listening to those calls and playing with the team.
Helps that he has a Devourer and wants to farm.
That too, Smeb though, getting engaged onto the top side, flashes away for that extra distance to get him onto the tower. Nice juke out. Will evade the cocoon, but he can't get away from the dredge line, taking a whole lot of damage, but here comes Peanut. It's a double pop-up, and it looks like Expression and Chaser are just gonna back off.
Yep, so get a flash, successful gank, regardless, from Longzhu.
Yep. Don't want to dive when there's a Lamps or Spite.
So it was a couple of points into Spear Shot, now is maxing the Heartseeker strike from Coco. 4 points Heartseeker, 3 points into Spear Shot.
Gorilla roaming up, trying to clear out some vision here, maybe trying to create some kind of play around this mid lane, which has suffered a lot of damage onto that tier 1 tower.
Big worry for Longzhu is very, very low on magic damage. Good base values for Elise and Nautilus, but not much more than that. And that means that the champions that's the most deceptively tanking the game and Poppy, itemized purely for armor.
Culling gets burned out, Prey taken down to about half HP, but Gorilla arrives to keep him safe. And he should be pushed back up to near full HP after these Heroic Shield charges are used.
What will Pantheon offer Longzhu is the question that will develop as we go further into this game. Now has fully maxed out Heartseeker Strike.
It's Longzhu going for the blue steal, but ROX is here to back it up.
Pantheon
Peanut's here as well. Do they get it? That's actually going to be Chaser walking away with it. Coco comes in on the backside, doesn't find anybody with initial damage. Gets to toss it out, jumps onto Prey, but he gets popped by Kuro with the Siphon Power enhanced auto attack. Fury goes down as well as Peanut is just chasing through. Chaser goes down, a double kill now for Peanut.
Oh.
Can they find Pure? The laser's not quite going to reach, but it's 3 kills coming through for ROX and a dragon off the backside.
ROX was so much smarter at playing around Kindred ult than any other team we've seen. Instantly Sivir backs into a corner. Looks like she's food for one of these frontline champions like Pantheon. Instead, fighting right next to the Lambs Respite, popping it early. Pantheon goes in, has to instantly flash away. They pick up the kills, and grouping your threats together with the Kindred ultimate makes the utility there so much more valuable.
Yeah, also just overshooting the Pantheon drop point a little bit as well. Didn't hit anybody with that initial damage.
See, that's what you do, though. That's not actually a mistake. You want to occupy space with this ultimate to ensure no one can retreat that way. But Prey and Peanut fighting together, no one else is committing with the Pantheon, means that Coco basically dies for free. Prey able to open up space over a wall means that no one can finish him off. And then you pop ult, everyone runs, and there's nowhere for Longzhu to go.
The only bad thing for ROX in that fight was that Kuro did not get the kill after flashing. But if that's the worst thing that happened, then it's not too bad.
Yeah, people misunderstand Pantheon's ult, just like they do Twisted Fates.
Well, you don't see Pantheon too often. So.
You do, and I'm not criticizing you for it, I'm just saying, what you want to do with Pantheon is ensure there's nowhere to retreat. If you're retreating into Heartseeker Strike.
Fair.
You're not retreating into anything else. So the damage, always a secondary concern.
A fair point, and I now feel very well educated. Thank you, Professor Papa.
Professor Papa on his Pantheon. I don't play a lot of Pantheon anymore. I enjoyed him in the jungle once upon a time.
I used to like him in the top lane.
It's good now against Fiora. Again, that's the secret counter pick that Honi showed in the ULCS.
NA.
That's right, NALCS, my apologies.
He has since changed sides. You can see though, Chaser going for a dive onto Smab, interrupts the ultimate, drags him in. Just trying to mitigate that as much as possible with the shield. He's taking a hell of a lot of damage. Chaser goes in for the execute. Stuns him into the tower, but Expression is more than happy to take this up. The question is, can they finish off Smab? He goes back in. Chaser repels up to safety. Coco, though, getting engaged on, does a lot of damage to 3 members of ROX, but still falls in the end. Overall, a 1-for-1 across the map.
A 1-for-1 where Longzhu will get an outer turret, and it's going to be an inner turret for ROX. So
yeah.
Inner mid lane turret means so much control over both Dragon and Baron buff.
A pretty damn good trade there if you are the ROX Tigers. I think they're going to be quite happy with that one. And then you see them rotating up. They might just go for another Rift Herald.
I was going to say Baron, then I realized we're only 17 minutes in.
Yeah.
This has definitely been a more ROX Tigers display.
Yes, it has been. Starting off the game like themselves.
Who okayed this Pantheon pick is what I want to know. Last boy, please. It was a blind pick Pantheon.
Feel free to scold him after the game.
A blind pick Pantheon. Mid. I mean, it could have been a Nautilus mid, I guess. But the top laner was Poppy. You do not want to pick Pantheon into Poppy.
Yeah.
Curious, to say the least.
Just a little bit. This mid lane is just sliding out of control here in favor of Kuro. CS lead is growing pretty substantially now. Both towers down for Coco. Flash down as well. They could easily punish him if he pushes forward. You can see though some focus from Longzhu down on the bot side of the map, but Chaser is spotted out by that ward. So ROX, all the wiser, not going to get caught out.
A dragon spawn. 2 dragons now. We mentioned that 2 dragons with double range auto attackers means good times when it comes to the split pushing that's been going on for the majority of the game. Don't know why we're fighting over Scuttle Crab, but okay.
It's a very important Scuttle Crab.
Only the most important. 5 stacks on the Dark Seal for Victor.
I mean, it's a Scuttle Crab that'll be down before Dragon Spawn, so obviously you need it.
Yeah, absolutely. Establishing vision.
Establishing dominance.
ROX Tigers have been doing that all season.
And all of this game. Not so much in the last one at the start, but definitely playing like we know them to. Coco maybe looking for the Grand Skyfall.
ROX don't have vision for it, but they are anticipating it.
Yep, Smeb likely. Oh, there's going to be the TP from the top side in the try.
Go time!
Smeb has not been matching this TP yet. Kuro already taking a lot of damage. Drops a gravity field though. Trying to lock up Coco. Here comes Peanut from the top side. The tower goes down, so they're now free to go in. Coco gets stunned into the wall. That Hex Trigger Shield not going to save his life. Prey takes him down. Chaser has to flash out. So it looks like he still may go down for this one. Peanut does finish him off. Expression on the run around the other side of this tier 2 top. Does Peanut have the damage? They're just going to turn right back on him. Lamb's Spike comes through. He gets stunned up. Can his team protect him? The dredge line comes through. They do finish him off. It's Fury who gets that kill. He gets exhausted out, and Expression stunned into the wall. Has to flash over to safety. Don't think they can chase, but Kuro finishes off Fury all the same. And the 2 remaining members of Longzhu have to run back into the base. And with the wave right there, ROX are just going to take a second tier 2.
And ROX tried everything. Pantheon ult, instant Nautilus ult, Pantheon ult, achieved nothing, died instantly out of the ult. 0-4-0, losing in CS. I don't know what to say, Achilles. The Zed pick, that was a head scratcher. This one, it's just awful.
I think we say that it's going to be a 2-0 game.
Skyfall comes in, but it's so telegraphed. They see the teleport coming. 1 + 1 = 2. Pantheon's ulting. On top of you, they kite back, instantly focus down Coco. Of course, it's built damage. It's only got more Marmortius for any sort of tankiness. And then Sivir ultimate, everyone running in. If this is a no escape AD carry, if it's an Ashe, you can kind of understand the Pantheon.
Yep.
But Sivir's gonna press ult. She has the spell shield for a stun. You're never gonna get anything out of the Pantheon pick.
Yeah, you know, a little greedy here. Does net them the kill on Fury in the end, so I guess all the same, still quite good. But ROX Tigers now coming in with an 8.2 thousand gold lead, just 21 minutes into this match, looking so strong. Looking like they're going to very cleanly close out this match.
Well, the problem now for Longzhu is they don't scale. Pantheon doesn't scale until late game unless he's snowboard. Certainly not snowboard. He has a tank. They have a tanky front line for Fury, but Fury's behind his opponent, and his opponent is a utility AD carry that is now going to do more damage and provide more utility than Lucian. So this is one of those scenarios where even without 3 dragons to 0, even without the massive gold lead, there's just nothing that can come for this Longzhu comp.
Yeah, and something I actually just noticed that every single person on ROX Tigers is running Swifties this game.
That helps too.
Yeah, it's great for their positioning.
They were nerfed on 6.4, but
you're worried about the Grand Skyfall? Run away from it.
Sivir helps with that.
That too.
Oh boy. The Longzhu head scratches are becoming a thing. OQ moment's gone, but Longzhu head scratches, new one.
Yeah. Taking over. See though, Longzhu just struggling to figure out where they need to be. Nothing really for them to take. Smeb speeding up, trying to get onto Coco, just slow him out, but not going to be able to get that stun into the dead tower like he was certainly looking for.
One of the most curious things about the 2016 season of League of Legends is that the best team in the world, the ROX Tigers, they play reliable comps. They play press R comps, they play a lot of CC. They're always able to fight when they want to because they always have 4, 5 initiators. And then we see teams like Spenu.
Speaking of initiation, Expression nowhere to grab onto, gets locked up by that gravity field. Kuro will find his 3rd kill of the game. And more than likely, ROX is going to find their 3rd tier 2 tower in this top side of the map. Coco
How many
has
games
to back.
have we seen 2 teams that can't start fights because they don't have the tools? And the ROX Tigers always have 4 people that have the tools. Why are the worst teams playing poke comps and the best teams playing reliable initiation comps? What is this world we live in? It's just so bizarre.
It is. I cannot help but agree with you, Papa. See, that tower does go down, and ROX in a pretty advantageous position to maybe go straight for this Baron. Let's see that Longzhu certainly think that that is what's happening as they ping for help in the Baron's pit. But that's going to be the go button press. Chaser, where are you going to go? There's nothing to jump to. Comes straight back down in the middle of the team. He gets burned out. Kuro with another one. Coco has to flash into the Raptor pit, but he gets popped up by Smeb. He's going to get taken down, and it's going to be Peanut taking away that kill. And just like that, no jungler, no mid laner. I think it's Baron time.
When you have initiation, when you have speed ups, when you have aggressive wards, you decide when the fight starts, you decide when the fight ends. Only 2 kills, but almost certainly going to be Baron with no Pantheon and no Elise. Longzhu can watch on. A lot's changed for Longzhu since they were beaten 2-0 by ROX, but scoreline certainly won.
Yeah. I think if this was a solo queue game, this is the point that Longzhu starts calling for an open mid.
Pretty damning.
Yeah, seeming like one of those games. Actually, maybe that was about 10 minutes ago.
Is there much difference between an open mid and a blind pick Pantheon?
That's a very good question. Probably not.
Well,
it doesn't seem like there is.
I've got good news. Plenty of stacks on that mid, guys.
Yes, there are.
So he was at 32 KDA before. Add on an extra 12. He's at 44 KDA now. On Victor this season. Nerfs came through, but no one told Kuro.
He doesn't. Kuro heard you. He just doesn't care. Yep. Rough game to watch here for Longzhu.
It was a really hype game 1.
It was. It was such a hype game 1, and then it just became a complete stomp fest by way of ROX Tigers walking all over Longzhu's faces, as unfortunate as it is. Fury getting jumped on here, has to pop at the calling. Pure doing what Braum does best and blocking his AD carry. He suffers half of his life at the same time. ROX just coming down, the go button is pressed by the Sivir, especially just getting absolutely melted. One last auto attack does finish him off. Bray finds that kill. Coco comes in and he just gets popped immediately. Bray finding the kill. Tower goes down. I think this is going to be the game. This is going to be the set. ROX Tigers just walking all over Longzhu.
The time is not that long. It's only 25 minutes, but I don't know what Longzhu are going to do. The double melee, the Pantheon mid. What to say?
Yeah, good lord. Fury almost dying in the Fountain Rocks. Trying to get some kills here if they can. Boomerang Blade almost takes down the Lucian, but Kuro says, you know what, I got a Death Ray. Pads his stats a little bit more. 5-0-9 to end this one out. The Nexus falls. ROX Tigers still undefeated, going 2-0 over Longzhu.
Such a crime that the ROX Tigers are not at IEM.
Oh, I know.
This team is the best in the world. There's no other way to put it. Longzhu beat SKT just a couple of weeks ago and then got crushed into the ground, specifically in Game 2. We're going to have to be left to wonder about the now 0-6-0 Pantheon blind pick mid. Maybe we should let Sleeping Dogs lie. That one was a real questionable one. And ROX, they go for these reliable comps. Sivir coming back into the meta at the perfect time. This team loves to pick Engage. And hell, you're going to be in the great position for Engage when you're all sped up.
Yep. That was just about as questionable as the Nautilus mid, though that at least was not blind.
At least that was a team that was getting crushed in the mid lanes. They picked a tank with wave clear.
True. Very true.
There's a time and place for Nautilus mid. There's a time and place for Pantheon, but
this is just not it.
This was not it.
So just very strong game from ROX, showing us how well they can perform when they're in form.
And that's 12-0 on the red side.
Yep. First game was... Beginning of first game was merely a fluke.
It's first set for Fury. Honestly, it was not about Fury. Fury didn't make any impact. Got a nice double kill at level 1 in game 1, but nobody can hold their head in shame on the bot lane side of Longzhu. Fury and Pure played fine, but it was just beaten by a better team, especially once again in game 2.
Yeah, so the big question as far as Longzhu is concerned is how is this going to affect the roster the next time we see these guys play?
Look, they have a wonderfully strong squad. In fits and spurts, they've looked like a top team, but they take a step back in this series. No other way to put it. Prey is absolutely loving his time in the booths. Wide smiles. He's like, look, I got another champion, guys. This is pretty good.
I told you, these guys always have a good time, win or lose. Always smiles on the ROX Tigers, especially Peanut and Smeb.
Specian looking a bit distraught. Maybe we'll see Flame next time out. Again, I don't feel like it was about Expression.
Yep, we very well could. But, you know, when you're going up against Smeb, it's hard to decide who do you want to get more than likely destroyed.
Gorilla goes another set without playing Alistair. That's a weird one.
Yeah, I know.
Turns out he can play other champions. I thought he was an Alistair one trick.
He's not. It's so surprising. Who knew? that the best support in the world was in a one trick.
Well, to be fair, his other trick has been Trundle, so that's pretty funny, actually.
That is actually
Two
quite
good tricks
true.
for you.
Yeah, two very good tricks for him. But let's take a look at the MVP. It is going to be Smeb, who solidifies that spot in the top.
I think the MVP should have been Kuro with that turret dive, 3-man gravity field.
I think it could have been Kuro just because he played Victor after that nerf and still, well then again, okay, never mind. It was a blind.
Top laners have to win MVP in Spring. It was Duke last Spring.
Yeah.
This gravity field is
This was the gravity field. This wasn't even
What's
a
the
Smeb
layering of
highlight.
CC? 3-man gravity field and the 3-man traffic cone.
Yeah.
And then Smeb doesn't die somehow. He does eventually die during this fight, but Smeb basically put up a temp around bot lane. And they just kept target ganking. Prey living here.
Prey not dying as well. It was a very, all of these are just highlights of ROX somehow not dying very much.
Maybe some lowlights of Pantheon.
Just going in, especially thinking that he can fight.
They're just tussling
And
that.
then they
This
just
is
have
very
a little
nice
bit of a
replay.
wet
Thanks,
noodle fight.
OGN.
Thank you for
But
that
that was
one.
what was happening during this fight, so it was preventing the Nautilus
Yeah.
teleport.
Quite good, and then ROX just continuing their stomp. You know, great gravity field placement again, just seeing Coco drop the ultimate says, you know what, well, I'll just force you the other way unless you want to get stunned up. Smeb just beautiful one after the other, stuns into the wall. They just absolutely dismantle Longzhu.
Longzhu's pick ban. Sometimes good, sometimes Pantheon.
Is that the new team motto?
I mean, we could say sometimes Zed into Lissandra, but that's a bit longer.
That's good, yeah, that gets branded on their new shirts. All of their fans.
I want a cut of that merch.
Yeah, very much want a cut of that. You deserve it.
Well, we got only one MVP today.